Yo, what is up guys, my name is Grizzly, welcome back to another League of Legends video. Today I'm gonna go over a replay which a viewer sent in, and I'm basically gonna go over what I think are the main mistakes, what he could improve on and stuff like that. So, starting with the lane matchup, he's against a Gangplank. This lane is pretty good for Fizz in my opinion. Basically he's quite punishable and you can easily all-in him. Now for this lane there are two alternatives. Either you go the safe option and take Doran Shield, which Fizz did in this case, which it's fine, but you can't really expect to do much before your first back if you go these items, so you have to play very carefully, basically play very safe and wait for basically your first back before you can do much. You could also go Corrupting Potion, which pretty much makes you very vulnerable to getting bullied early, but it has very high potential because around like level 3 to 4 you can get a good all-in with Corrupting Potion and score a kill, and the goal with this matchup is definitely to get ahead early because Gangplank outskills you super hard, so it will be really rough later on if you don't punish him early game. So I'm actually gonna toggle the Fog of War from Fizz perspective here. But overall, yeah, the starting items are fine, but if you want to make sure you punish him earlier, you can go Corrupting Potion start. Okay, so with the Doran Shield, I would not push the lane early game. I would basically just sit back and last hit. Starting with W is the correct choice, however, but because this is fine if you have Corrupting Potion, so you can like punish him level 2, because if you push you will obviously get level 2 sooner than him. But yeah, this is the issue right here. You extend yourself to getting poked quite a bit, and since Gangplank is probably running Kleptomancy, he will get a lot of free gold. Yeah, he's running Kleptomancy, so that's the issue with this. And you also want to make sure that you push the this second wave really hard so that you don't get frozen on, or you want to make sure that you kinda like don't push it too far so you can push in the third wave. But that's pretty risky because then you have to go and put down a ward, otherwise the enemy jungle can gank you quite easily. And since Fizz runs Ignite and Teleport in top, in my opinion, it's the best, so you'll be quite vulnerable early on. So as you can see here, this is like the worst timing to push in the wave, because it will crash here, and now he has like the perfect lane position. This is really risky for you, so as I said, you will have to put this ward down, yeah, but now you have to shove this as well, and you will take quite a lot of poke for it, so that's the issue with this wave manipulation. But you seem to be last hitting quite fine. You missed that cannon though, that's quite unfortunate, but I won't go into like the smaller details. I'll basically just go over the main mistakes. So this ended up working out fine. You got the wave to crash, but the wave is still so big that you will probably like have to push in the next wave quick as well, because otherwise this lane will be frozen around here again, so you'll have to push this, yeah, because this minion is so low. Now we see Kha'Zix here, so you're not really in danger of getting ganked, so this ended up working like quite well. So as you can see here, he got quite a bit of a CS lead, basically just because of your main manipulation, level 3. You wanted to make sure that you shoved the second wave really hard so that it didn't get frozen on the third wave, and if you were gonna like slow push it, you needed to do it a bit slower than you did, because you want the wave to be like around the middle to like push in the third wave, but that extends you to a jungle gank. But since you warded, it should be fine, but you need to be either faster or slower on the second wave. But now it's pushing towards you, so you should be able to like safely farm this up once it shoves to you here. He shouldn't let you touch these creeps right now, but I guess you don't know he can punish you here. But this is fine, you get all the last hits. Okay, now you go for a trade, and you're taking a lot of minion damage from this, because all of those casters were attacking you. You reset the aggro with your E, but the problem with running Doran Shield and doing those trades is that you lose a lot of mana, so I would kind of agree with that trade if you had Corrupting Potion, but there were so many caster minions that if Gangplank actually turned on you there, I think you actually die, but... So now he's actually backing, which is super good for you. You should just let this wave, like, you shouldn't like attack the creeps as you're doing here. You should just let the wave push into you and deny as much minions as possible. And depending on your gold, you can also like recall, because you won't lose any creeps by recalling here, because he won't be able to push the lane in time if he doesn't teleport. And if he teleports, you just counter his teleport, and the wave is in a really good position for you. But here you're shoving it, which I don't agree with at all. You could have just like frozen the wave here, and you could have exposed him to the same thing that you kind of exposed yourself to earlier by the lane like freezing in front of the tower. So mainly in this game thus far, it has nothing to do with your mechanics or your last hitting, because you're doing fine in both regards, but it's just the wave manipulation that has fucked you quite a bit, and that's the main issue. So here you want to back, I think, because this way will crash into the tower. He might freeze it. No, he's actually gonna hard push it, so this is fine. He has teleport still, but yeah, you should back here. And now, I'm not sure if you should teleport here, it depends on how fast he can shove. I don't think he has many barrels left, he has 1 barrel right now, so it's pretty safe to walk up to lane. And the items you purchased are absolutely correct. I would always rush Sheen if I'm going Doran's Shield first item, because you need extra mana to trade efficiently, so I have nothing against like the build or like your mechanics or your last hitting, it's just way manipulation thus far. Okay, so here I would pretty much fast shove this next wave, I think, to force his teleport, but I'm not sure that you can actually do it in time when I think about it, so I guess it's fine to like do this, but then you want to make sure that you build up a huge wave here. Okay, so you're gonna teleport bot here. I have to watch this first. Okay, so your bot is getting all in on here. Like the problem with teleporting in this situation, as you can see, your creeps, you have a lot more creeps here, right? So your lane will like slow push towards him, which is fine if you stay with the wave and you kind of like bully him under tower, or you like collapse the entire wave onto his tower and then you go invade his jungle or stuff like that, or you can go for a teleport after the wave has clashed into his tower, because that gives you a lot of pressure, because Gangplank can't just leave the lane then, because if there's like 12 creeps under his tower, there's not much he can do, he has to farm them up. But the thing you do here is you push it like this, right? And then you teleport, so this will just slow push into his tower now, or maybe it won't even hit, maybe it's the perfect freeze. But I see that GP is here, right? But GP is like super weak. Okay, you actually cancel it. Okay, that's super good. Okay, you shouldn't have teleported in the first place even, but cancelling it was the right call for sure. Because this wave was just horrendous. You can never like commit to a TP with this wave. So now I just go to proxy the wave as soon as I can. The tower damage doesn't mean that much right now. You won't really push it down. Yeah, I would just hit the creeps here. It's like kind of useless to hit the tower. But it's fine. I think you will get all of it anyways. So Gangplank got 2 assists. It's not that bad for us. You're really ahead in CS now, so you get a lot of creeps off of this. Okay, this is all good. The enemy team gets the Drake. I would shove the next wave as well, because Gangplank can't threaten you, and you know they just did Drake, so you should really push this wave as well. There's no reason to back. Yeah, that was a huge mistake. You should have shoved this wave as well. You would have gotten like a lot more gold and efficiency overall. Because Gangplank, I'll see when he shows up actually. We can like toggle the vision. Yeah, as you can see, you could have easily shoved that wave. It's like, that's a pretty huge mistake, because it looks like a pretty small thing, but like denying, he would get denied all of these 6 creeps, by the way, if you just like shoved it immediately. So a whole wave is like enormous. That's like in high reload, like an entire wave is like game breaking. Like he can probably, even if you like don't have perfect wave pushing and wave timing, you can probably like still climb, but it's like a minor thing to fix and it helps you a lot. So okay, so now you have ult and you have ignite. So what I would do here is I would just like look for an all in here, because you have to kill him sooner or later, right? Because his skill is so much better. Like you have a huge CS lead, so that's good, but here I would just not approach the lane forward. I would walk into this bush here and I would stand on the edge here and I would look for an ultimate, because if you land the ult on him here, he doesn't have flash. I don't know if you're aware of that in the game, but even if you're not aware of it, you still minimum get his flash if you land the ult on him, and if he doesn't have flash, you get the kill. So just walk up like this into the bush and cheese with your ultimate. That's like all you do as Fizz into matchups that you can kill. You have to like stand in a bush and you have to try to land the ultimate, because the hitbox is very big. So if they're not like, if they don't have vision in the bush, it's almost like impossible to react. Like you can land ultimates from bushes like all the way up to challenger basically. So don't like think that okay, if he has good reaction he can just sidestep it. That's not how it works. Maybe if he has like a dash, then he can for sure. But in those situations you just wait for them to use it, or you just hope that it lands anyway. Because if you don't land the like long range ultimate as Fizz when you're like in this position, you can't really kill him because you need extra damage from the ultimate, and he won't like just stand here while you walk up to melee. So, or maybe he will. So we'll see. But overall, I would walk into this bush and I would try to land ult here. He wards this bush, but if you stood right here now, he would not be back here. He would be standing here and he would hit the minions, and then you can just land the ultimate here. So here the wave is pushing to you. Now what you have to do here, because you can't like all in him back here because you would take way too much damage from the caster minions. If you stood here, it's a different story. So now you have to just wait for him to push this in, or for him to waste all of his barrels, and then you have to all in him. So he's standing really far back here. This is really good. You can just pretty much zone him if he's this afraid to walk up. Okay, you denied the siege creep. That's good. I would not push this wave though. I would like let it push to me so you have more space to work with. Basically, you want the lane to be as long as possible for Gangplank so he has to walk up so you have longer to chase him when you go for the all-in. But like here, when he walks up for this creep here, if you ult him here, he's dead 100%. Like, if you land this ult here, he's super dead. Like, there's no way he can survive this. And this is like an opportunity that should not ever arise, because he should never walk up this far. And I know he has barrels here, so he can maybe kite you out with this ultimate, but at least you get such a good trade that he has to, like, recall, and you can shove this wave under the tower, maybe get some tower damage, or you could just, like, go for some wards or get a really good reset off. So, overall, just always go for this ult here. Because he's locked into animation here with Q as well, so there's, like, no way that he can dodge that. So it's those kind of opportunities you have to look for. Okay, now it's quite risky to push up actually. I'm gonna toggle the vision for us again. As you can see here, we don't really have any vision topside, so it's quite risky to be this far up. But since Gangplank is so squishy right now, we actually built like Boots of Swiftness, which is really bad in this matchup for him. He needs the extra tankiness for sure from either ninjas or mercs. But yeah, you basically, like, you can't do this when you push the wave a little and then the wave hangs out here, because it leaves you in a very dangerous position and you don't really accomplish anything, because he's too close to the tower for you to kill him, right? And you don't really deny him CS either. So it doesn't really make any sense. Either you pushed into the tower and reset the lane so it pushes out to the middle again. That's one way to do it, or you just don't push at all and you just let him push to you, and you can probably all in him even if he has a small minion advantage, because you're really strong right now and he's not. Like, when he goes for this melee attack here, he should never be able to get away with that. You should, even if you don't want to ultimate him here, because you probably can't kill him here because he's pretty close to the tower, you should still, like, Q onto him, get the auto, get another auto, he's gonna, like, put up a barrel, then you can E to dodge his Q or his barrel or wherever, and then you hold the E for as long as possible, you land with the slow, because the E doesn't slow if you release it immediately, then you get a lot of damage from that, and then you chunk your W auto into him, and then he's actually going to be like around here, maybe take one tower shot, but I guarantee you, if you did that combo that I just explained, which consists of like a Q, 2 autos, your E, and then a W, he will be at like 200 HP. Like, Fizz does so much damage at this point, and then you can probably just ignite ulti instead, so you should never, like, let him take these CS here. You have to, like, be able to punish opponents with Fizz, because otherwise there's really no point playing him against, like, Gangplank, because you'll get so outscaled that you can't really do much. So he's gonna all-in you here. As I said, the wave's in a super dangerous position, so Kha'Zix just ganks you here. But you see what I mean, like, even when this was really suboptimal, you did not get the long-range ultimate at all, and you waited, like, really long to go in, and you actually waited for him to go in. You didn't actually, like, do the incentive yourself. Like, if you ultimated, if you, like, queued onto him here, if you use your ult here, he was already dead before Kha'Zix even arrived. But now you wait, like, I think it's like 5 seconds or something. Yeah, and now Kha'Zix shows up, so. And you wait a long time to even turn on him as well. Like, that's another issue. Like, even if this happens, because let's say you're not sure if you can kill him, you wanna play the lane safe or whatever, which is not fine in this lane, but against another matchup, let's say, it's still fine. Like, you have to commit when they go on you this hard. Like, here you should Q on him. Like, there's no reason to just, like, stand here. You see, you start running away now. Like, why? Like, you won't get out anyways, so it's better to turn earlier. So you turned really late there, and the wave was in a pretty bad position. So, like, overall, from what I've seen during the lane phase, the issue is not your mechanics or, like, your last hitting, because that seems to be pretty good. Like, 80 CS at 10 minutes, that's really respectable. That's not bad at all. It's just, like, the way you manipulate minions, and also, like, you don't really see these opportunities to take trades. And with champions such as, like, Fizz, Irelia, or Jax, or Bruisers in general, you really want to make sure that you take, like, the efficient trades, because otherwise there's really no reason to play them. Like, with what I've seen this game with, like, your mechanics and your last hitting, you would probably climb by just playing, like, either tanks or even champions such as, like, Gangplank, because if you can just farm with those champions and then go into team fights with the way you're, like, controlling your character and stuff, you'll probably do really well. It's just that you don't punish the 1v1 situations, and that's really what you need to do with these sorts of champions such as Fizz. I watched the rest of the game as well, and I kept repeating myself, like, I made the same points over and over again, that, like, you shouldn't join fights when your team is really behind and Gangplank is ahead of you, you should aim to farm up and stuff like that, but none of that really matters, because with Fizz, and especially the way I'm playing Fizz, which is the Bruiser Ignite kind of Fizz, you want to make sure that you actually punish these lanes, because otherwise the game will just be so hard for you, so it's not really any point in going over every small mistake later into the game. If you can just fix these things that I mentioned earlier, you will climb a lot, or you will improve at least on Fizz quite a lot. Thanks a lot for watching this coaching replay video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button, and it's Ruffy, I hope you learned something from this guide. But anyways guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.